Well, hello and welcome to At Home today. And it's a very special program because we're celebrating Valentine's Day, the day of love. You say, Arlene, give me a definition for love. You know, that's an age-old question. Everybody says, give me a definition. It's hard to put into words, but when you're in love, you know it. You really do. We're going to talk more about that because my very special guests today are Renee and David Basel, who've been married for 10 years. And guess what? Their marriage is still on fire, if you know what I mean. So they're going to give us some hints today of how they've kept that going and how David pampers the life out of Renee. And of course, she does to him too. But I don't want to be gossiping here at all. This is going to be a fun program, and we're going to cook. David's going to make some really interesting things like, how about a nice crème brûlée that your husband fixes for you for Valentine's Day? Or maybe a very special pizza, or how about a smoothie? Those smoothies are really big now. Oh, they're so good. We're going to come back and get started with our special celebration of love in just a moment. But first, here's today's at-home hint. Here's today's at-home definition. Braise, a cooking method by which food is first browned in fat, then cooked, tightly covered in a small amount of liquid at low heat for a lengthy period of time.
For updates, pictures, stories, and more, like us on Facebook. To watch hundreds of classic episodes, subscribe to us on YouTube. And to get hundreds of free recipes, visit ctvn.org/athome.
Welcome to At Home, as I said, and I have to welcome our very special guests, Renee and David. We're so glad you guys are here.
We are glad to be here. Thank you very much.
This is so nice. You know, I've known Renee since she was like a pup.
A long time.
Yes, more years than either one of us want to think about. And David, I just met
just before we got married. I remember coming up and I'll go out to eat.
We had a birthday party or something.
My
Dad's
your
dad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We had fun.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But you know what was neat? Your wedding was just one of the most beautiful weddings I've ever been to because it gave a lot of planning and a lot of thought. And that stems from a fact that you both have a deep love for one another.
Absolutely. Yes.
And after 10 years, it still lasts. And I know it takes time and it takes an effort to make it last, right? Mm-hmm. It isn't like, okay, we're married, so everything's going to be fine. You work at it.
Right.
And it's a treasure.
It's easy work because it pays off.
Well,
it pays off in great benefits.
Benefits are great, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we thought that what we would do today, they've kept Valentine's cards for 10 years. Well, David has. And you'd have to be here to know what was going on there. And then David's going to share some of the fun things you do to keep the fire going in their marriage.
I want to make it easy for the husbands out there to do something special for their wife for Valentine's Day or any time that it's not going to make them all crazy trying to do a whole bunch of details. Just very simple things.
Because it's too complicated, then they feel like they can't try.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Also, I mean, this is wonderful what you're doing, but a little card or a note under a pillow.
He's done that starting February 1st up till Valentine's Day.
Are you
Every day I
serious?
get something. And it's just a little something. You know, like I'll open the fridge and a card will be in there.
Now let's not get ridiculous. No.
Well, when we first got married, I started doing that, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to sustain this for our whole lives. We're going to be in trouble. But so
now
far, so
he
good.
doesn't, though. I look for it now.
Yeah, of course. Because every woman likes to have that feeling that someone cares enough, your husband cares enough to do something special for you. Okay, David, you're going to get started with, and you make this for Renee. And what's this called?
Well, this is my heart-shaped pizza.
All right.
Now, I come from an Italian background, and our love language, it's I love you, therefore I feed you.
Feed you, of course.
So that's what we're going to do here, and it's very, very simple to make.
Okay.
And you know, the key to it is the fact that it's shaped in a heart, and it just tells that person that you love. It doesn't even have to be a wife or a husband.
Right.
It could be anybody. You can just tell them that you love them.
Okay, so you're going to first make the dough, right?
Yes, the dough.
Okay.
That's how we start. So if you have a bread machine, if your wife has a bread machine and you haven't used it yet, it's very easy to do. You can do this by hand as well.
Okay.
But you just take about 7 or 8 ounces of water, and this needs to be room temperature. Everything needs to be room temperature, okay? So get it out of the refrigerator, whatever you need to do beforehand. Put that in the, I don't know what they call this, the tank or the bread pan or whatever, yes. And that's 7 or 8 ounces of water. And then 3 cups of all-purpose flour.
Regular flour.
Just regular flour. You can do the bleached, unbleached,
and you're going to make this the same
there.
way, mix it in the same sequence if you don't have a bread machine.
Right.
So you do that in a bowl the same way. Okay.
Yes, yes. And then a little bit of olive oil. This is about 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
That makes it good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is for the pizza dough.
Sure.
I like, there's salt in it too. This is about half a teaspoon of salt.
Right. You need that. That
Yeah,
flavors it.
yeah, it does. But what I really like to do to really zing it up with the pizza dough is to add a little bit of garlic salt or garlic powder.
Whoa.
And that
So
makes it
even
almost
in
like a garlic bread for the
Yeah.
pizza to be on. It's great. And my favorite, now you'd think that my favorite being, my last name being Basel would be Basil, but I like oregano because I'm Italian.
But then his name isn't David Oregano.
And this ends up looking kind of weird with
I
the
know.
when the dough's done because
Looks like
you
you have
wonder
dirt.
what are those in there, but it's oregano.
good,
It's
though.
very good. And then just grab one of these packages of
Little packet,
active
yeah.
dry yeast, and you put in about a teaspoon and a half.
Oh, that you don't
of
use the whole
this.
package then.
Well, if you want it more dough, you'd have to use the whole package.
Yeah.
But just about a
Now,
teaspoon
how many
and a half
pizzas
of
is this dough going to make?
This is just one.
Well, one pizza.
is just
okay.
one, yeah.
Like one big pizza or a small?
It's fairly large. It's
Like
about
a
a large
12-inch pizza, maybe
yeah.
that size,
It's hard to
kinda?
measure it with it's shaped like a heart.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
but-
It's similar. Okay.
And that's it.
So then that would go in
That's
there.
all it is. And then
okay.
you just put it in the bread machine and
Let it do its thing.
set it in there. And then all you have to do is, I don't know if you can see this or not, but you hit the menu and it goes to the dough setting,
Yeah.
and then you hit start.
And that's it. And then how long will it take that to do it?
It's about an hour and a half because it kneads it first and then it
Raises.
lets it rise. And
Okay.
you can do the same thing by hand in a bowl.
Just let it put in a bowl. Warm
and knead it
place.
for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Get it really kneaded
Okay,
up
now
good.
show us what you get.
And then, all right, then when it comes out,
Yeah.
this is how it pulls out
Okay.
of the bread machine.
Oh,
And then
cool.
at that point, you just kind of shape it. You don't need a rolling pin or anything.
Okay.
You just shape it
He's
and
going to work on the pizza dough.
make it into a heart.
Okay. And you pull that. So
Yes.
So I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
How did you know that he was the one that you like really loved?
Well, it was love at first sight.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
I saw him across the campus at college.
college?
Yeah, we met at Bible college.
Right.
And I saw him across the campus, and then
And you knew?
Yeah, I did, without a shadow of a doubt.
But then you didn't get together right then, huh?
No.
It took me
you
a while
chased-
to come around.
Oh, because you chased him and
he.
he.
Stalker.
Oh, you were the stalker.
She was.
I really was. Nobody believes that.
Really?
But yeah, he had a full head of hair then.
She
You
wouldn't
ran too
stalk
far.
me now, but
I would stalk you now. No, I would see him interacting with other people, and I was watching his personality from a distance, and I
And
was
you
like,
liked what you
yes,
saw,
I
huh?
loved what I saw, and so then I went up to him and said, "You need me."
Yeah. Well, there he was. That's exactly right. All right, now show me some of the cards and some of the special little things that he's
Yeah,
done
like
for you.
I said, he does something every day.
Okay.
He started the year we got engaged.
Oh, that's
and
neat.
and then I didn't know. I thought it was just something he did that year we got
Yeah.
engaged. And then every year, starting February 1st, I'll find something. I might find a CD playing in the car when I get in the car
Oh, neat.
of our favorite songs. Or I like funky looking flowers. I don't like your normal
yeah,
everyday.
right.
They got to be Dr. Susie
Something
looking.
weird, yeah.
Yes.
Birds of
so
paradise,
I like
stuff
birds
like
of
that.
paradise. He bought me. They're called fingers cactus. It's
Yeah.
a finger cactus, and they look like fingers. And he told me I could never kill it because I'm not good with plants.
Plants, yeah.
And so that's sitting on my desk one day. You
And
know,
it
it's
works?
probably like $1.50.
Oh,
You know,
neat.
but yeah, I
It's
haven't
the
killed
thought,
it.
though.
It's the
It's
thought.
the
yes,
thought.
yes. And he one morning when I got ready to go to work, he had made this cup.
Oh, that's a travel cup.
It's a travel cup, and he had put my coffee in it.
Let me
and
show you
made
this
coffee.
real close. Look at this. They're all kind of, I don't know.
He had
hope we can
taken
get the
pictures
glare
that
off.
we've had through the
You
years.
can come in a little closer maybe, and you can see the photos of them all through different places they've been, and but the couples, always the two of them together, which is really neat.
And I have that with me all the time. Whenever I've done
Isn't that
shows or
great?
different things like
Yeah.
that they're always like, "Oh, I love that cup."
Yeah, because you know what? What did this cost? Maybe $10 probably at the
not
most.
even.
Not
Yeah,
Not
it's
even.
very
Yeah.
inexpensive.
And yet this, how long ago did you get this?
I got that about 3 years ago.
See, and you're still carrying around,
I
and
carry
everybody
it
loves
everywhere.
it.
And they're all surprised when I say my husband made it for me.
sure.
Yeah, they're like, "You're kidding. Your husband
Whose
made
husband
it,"
does that?
you know?
Yeah.
And he does little things like that for me every day. Like he'll bring coffee up to me when I'm putting my makeup on.
Jeez.
You know, little things like that.
And you know what? That means so much. Well, I guess what we're trying to convey here is that you don't have to spend a lot of money to make something happen special for your wife or your husband. All you have to do is put a little bit of your heart into a little thing like get a cup of coffee. Like when Paul, I know recently he's had some problems with his lungs and stuff, you know, and tea was very soothing. If I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I'd go and make him a cup of tea because I knew that if I was moving around, he'd get awake, and if he got awake, then he would need to get settled down, and I'd have to give him a cup of tea.
Yeah.
So, but those are the things that love talks about. The Bible says that love is kind, love is gentle, but it also said that God is love. God is love. You want a definition? God is love. He's the personification of what love's all about. It's God. So when you think about a character of someone that really loves somebody, if we think about God, then we know what we're supposed to be doing. And I know that you reciprocate for him too, right?
I try to.
So what's one of the neat things that you've done?
It's one of the neat things I've done.
How quickly she
Oh
forgot.
my word, it's she's very good at that. It's always little things, so little. I especially like just little phone calls. Just calling to say I
break
love
up the
you.
day,
Yeah, that's the best. That's
so it
my
doesn't
favorite.
have to be a planned thing. It's
Absolutely
not
not.
something, and I think when we carry each other in our hearts, that's our heart speaks to us all the day about that person that we love, and then we need to be listening to it. Okay, we're going to take a break because he has to do something with that pizza as soon as we come back.
If you love At Home with Arlene Williams, then subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have hundreds of episodes with all your favorite recipes, holidays, and friends.
Say hi to your fan club. Hi, fan club.
And don't forget to click the bell so you'll never miss another episode of At Home.
If you're just joining us, welcome, because we're celebrating the Day of Love, Valentine's Day, with two of my favorite people, Renee and David Basel. And David, let's take a look at that heart-shaped pizza crust.
It's just a labor of love. Whatever shape it ends up, try to get it to look like a heart.
Okay.
Spread a little bit of olive oil on it if you have a pastry brush, or you can even do it by hand. Very easy. Then the sauce goes on.
Now, what sauce is that? Just regular?
You can buy pizza sauce. You can even use spaghetti sauce. You kind of may need to taste it. Sometimes the spaghetti sauce doesn't have as much flavor as the pizza sauce.
I tried it when I was born.
And then just the back of a spoon, just spread out the sauce. I love a lot of sauce, so. Actually, Renee doesn't, but I do.
I don't either.
I'm sorry.
It's a woman thing. We don't like it all over our clothes. And our
very
mouth.
easily, just get yourself one of these packages. It'll say right on there, 2 cups of cheese. So they're very difficult to open.
Don't you like us to help? Oh, okay.
And you just spread that around.
You don't pre-bake the crust then, huh, Dave?
No, it just.
Cool.
I did get this neat little pan that has the little. It's almost like a grate that cooks the bottom of the.
Oh, that's like I
love that. And then a little bit of onion. I love a little onion on the pizza.
Onion.
Just a couple slices on there.
It adds such flavor, doesn't it?
Nothing real intense. Again, a little bit of this oregano. I just love that on my pizza, and it really helps add the flavor.
Beautiful.
And then you just go crazy with the pepperoni or whatever toppings you want. If you
what
want
else, like mushrooms and green
if you do sausage, you have to brown the sausage first.
Right. Oh yeah.
And
Please.
drain it. But the pepperoni is very easy.
Yeah,
so
we
love that.
Rather do that than the other.
That's it. And then as soon as it's all done,
Okay,
you
now
just
what
pop it in the
temperature are we
oven.
doing?
400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes.
That's all.
That's it. And you've got yourself a Valentine's pizza.
Now, Dave, if you don't have that there rack that you're cooking that on, that whatever you call that thing, screen, what did you put on a regular cookie sheet?
Stone or a regular cookie sheet is fine. You may just have to watch it a little bit because you want. It depends on if you like your crusty or you know.
Well, he's doing that.
I was surprised that time that he.
I'll
the first time
bet,
he did
yeah.
This, I was like, it's shaped like a heart.
Right.
The little things.
That's
normal
neat.
pizza.
And
shaped
then
like a
now
heart.
something special for dessert. Now that was simple. That was just kind of an
this
everyday
is one of my all-time
meal.
favorites.
And it's creme brulee, and people think, oh, creme brulee, you
could
get it
never
in a
make it.
restaurant, it's
Yeah.
so hard to make. It is the simplest thing in the whole wide world.
It's got
Now,
like 3 ingredients, right?
Absolutely, and some people make it a lot harder than it is, but this is a very simple recipe. Anybody can do this.
Okay.
You just take your bowl here, you take 2 of these heavy creams. It's basically
It's not for the diet person.
No,
Okay.
it's 2 cups.
heavy cream.
It's 2 cups of heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
And
Now that's not half and half, folks. That's heavy cream, because you could whip that into whipped cream, couldn't you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so there's 2 cups of that.
Yes, and then
what
you
else?
take egg yolks.
Aha,
And
egg
you
yolks.
put the eggs. You have to separate them and put
the egg whites in there, or
You
the
need
yolks?
just the yolks. So you need
Okay.
5 of those.
Wow.
Now you know how to separate them, guys.
Yep.
Just like this.
Yum, yum.
And you put 5 of those in there.
Right into the
Yep,
cream.
Right into the cream.
Okay.
And a half a cup
Okay.
of sugar.
That's all.
That's it.
Half a cup,
And then
wow.
you just whisk that together.
Okay.
Or you can stir it or whatever you want. Just mix
here,
it
here,
together.
excuse me. Here's a whisk right in here. Give him this
We didn't
whisk.
have our whisk candy. I'm
Here we
sorry.
go. Sorry.
And then, the yolks. There's
Yeah.
5 yolks in there, 2 cups of heavy cream,
All right.
and half a cup of sugar.
Okay.
And when that's done, you pour it into what these are called as ramekins.
Ramekins, right.
You can even use just like a baking dish if you have like a Pyrex pan. You don't even have to do it individually.
Do individuals, right.
But you pour it into that, and I don't have enough yolks in here, but I'll just show you.
Okay.
You just pour it in, and I just like to mix it, you know, between each one of the ramekins.
Because you want to keep the eggs and everything incorporated together. Like you don't want the cream in one and the eggs in the other.
Right, and then this is a little secret. Make sure the ramekins are evenly spread on the pan.
Right.
And then just give a little water in here.
Oh, you do it in a water bath?
Yeah, it's called a water bath, and it keeps it all nice and moist when it's baking, and it doesn't crack that way.
Did you know that if you're doing a cheesecake and your cheesecake cracks across the top, it's because it's too dry?
Really?
If you do it in a water bath, it won't?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
know
that's the same thing. That's really nice to know because people, and then you have this beautiful, you know, this cake-ins with a big crack.
Yes.
And then how long does that bake and at what temperature?
This bakes for about 80 minutes, 70 to 80 minutes at a real cool oven, 275.
Oh, really cool.
And I forgot too, you can put a little vanilla in there as well, or any other flavorings.
Or
if you
almond or whatever.
Yeah, some people even put like a tablespoon of instant coffee
yeah,
to make a mocha flavor.
Yeah, that's
and
nice.
It's really good.
All right, and then when that bakes, show us what you have.
This is it when it's completed and baked.
Okay.
And then you have to do what really crème brûlée is all about. In fact, over there in that box there is the raw sugar.
Okay,
if
they're going to
get that for me.
Talk us through it while we're.
But you want to put on. It's the thing about crème brûlée is there's the custard underneath, and then there's this hard shell of sugar on it. And you use sugar in the raw. You can use brown sugar or regular sugar, but I prefer the way this ends up. And this sugar in the raw, you just put it on there.
What is sugar in the raw?
I guess it's just raw sugar before they actually refine it into the granulated sugar and stuff like that.
Okay.
And you just kind of mix it around like that, and then you put it on there a little bit, and you get a nice
naked sugar.
Naked sugar.
Okay,
that's
cool.
good. Yeah, we'll be.
Love show.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but we're in the kitchen. Remember, we're in the kitchen with Arlene.
Love begins in the kitchen.
Love. You always talk about love in the kitchen.
Yes, love begins in the kitchen. You just spread that out evenly there. And again, now this, after this comes out of the oven, you want to let it cool. You let it cool to room temperature, and then I like to put it in the refrigerator
I do too.
because I don't like it soupy. I'd rather have it nice and firm.
You want it to set up.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't grease those or anything before you put that?
No, just pour it right in.
Great.
And then what you do with this is you put it under the broiler. Now, some people use a blowtorch.
Yeah, I've
now, that's
seen
a manly thing I'm supposed to do.
We don't like
you know, the Tim the Tool Man thing. But for this, it's very easy.
Why don't you
just
go ahead
pop
and
it
put that in? Sure.
Okay. Now, you want to do a little bit of water bath on this, too, just because the pan tends to, you know,
Get
pop
hot,
and move all over the place when you're doing that.
Okay.
And
so we have crème brûlée. We have the pizza going. And unfortunately, we're running out of time. You realize that how quickly this went. Go ahead.
All you do is just put it under the broiler and let that sugar caramelize. And you got to watch it really carefully. Even leave the door open a little bit because it only takes a couple of minutes to do that. And if you don't do it quick, you're going to have a little bit of smoke happening.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay, so you don't want that.
And then you've ruined something you've spent a lot of time preparing. I don't like that either.
So once it's caramelized, it turns out great, and it has that nice hard, and you put it back in the refrigerator. I like it back in the refrigerator after that.
Okay, so we talked you through those two things. When we come back, we're going to show you the smoothie, and we're going to be in the dining room. You don't want to miss the ending of our Valentine show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
To get all the recipes from today's show, plus hundreds of others, just click the link in the video description or visit our website, ctvn.org/at-home.
Well, we're in the dining room with our very special guest, and I want you to see the intimate dinner that David prepared.
Yep.
Show us the, look at this pizza is so cute.
Heart-shaped pizza.
Turns out great just for Miss
my
Renee,
love for my wife,
the
Renee.
Pampered,
just cut through it real easy.
Now that I've trained up my husband in the way he should go.
Oh, I don't know.
She's changing the scriptures around, Arlene.
She certainly is, and you know what happens when people do that. Not a good sign. She also made the smoothie. Let me just show this. Look at that smoothie. We're going to include the recipe for the smoothies
Very
too.
easy.
Yum, yum. This would be great. You like that with that pizza, huh? And show us your crème brûlée.
Crème brûlée right here, and it with that nice hard shell
see that
right
hard
there.
crust on there?
You just break through that to get to the custard beneath, and it's
underneath,
just delicious.
and you
It's
have
just delicious. You want to bite of this?
So that's crème brûlée with wonderful berries that just enhances the
the coffee.
Yes. So this is a lovely, intimate dinner, and you have some dipping
Yes,
sauces
well, the
down there?
crust is so nice and thick that once you're done with the pizza, you can dip in the
Oh, neat.
olive oil with,
Some herbs.
again, oregano, and then dip it in the cheese, or you can use the sauce.
He likes the sauce.
There you go. Well, that's what it's
delicious.
all about. So you make everybody happy, huh?
That's it.
Well, they've certainly made me happy, and I'm really glad that they were here today.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
And more 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 more years until Jesus comes.
Yes.
Happiness for both of you.
Thank you.
And may God bless your lives in ways that you've not even thought.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
you, Arlene.
I'm going to get out of this dining room because this is an intimate dinner.
Yes,
and I'm not invited. I have to go find Paul.
Yes.
So we're just going to let them
Leave us
help
alone.
themselves. We're so glad you joined us today. Be sure to join us the next time because it wouldn't be the same without you. Enjoy.
Thank you, Arlene.
Furnishings provided by Levin Furniture, featuring Lane's Country Living Collection. Food provided by Jordan Banana Company, wholesalers of fresh fruit and vegetables in Trevosburg, Pennsylvania.
Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home. Thank you for watching.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.